In this video, we're going to talk about the things that nobody tells you about moving to Florida in 2020. Hey everybody, it's Craig Coon with John R. Wood Properties right here in Fort Myers and Cape Coral, Florida. If you'd like to know what it's like to eat, play, live, sleep, or buy real estate on the Gulf Coast, then this is the channel for you. So go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment to be sure to get all the videos in the future. I'm getting calls from people every week, seeing what kind of information I can provide to help them make a decision if this is a place for them to relocate, and I absolutely love it. So if I can help you at all, please comment below or call, text, send an email, whatever your preferred method. I'm here to help. All right, I promised that this video we were going to discuss the things that nobody's talking about when moving to Florida in 2020. 2020 is a unique year. Everybody knows that. We've got the pandemic going on. It's starting to clear in many areas, hanging around in others. But in Florida, we've just reopened the third phase. So that means that we have full access in our restaurants. The bars are open. We're still practicing social distancing and wearing masks in many locations. So we're not completely out of the woods, but we are one of the first states to kind of test out that last phase to bring it back together. So here's hoping to things clearing up for everybody and just moving on to normalcy again. But I'll tell you, as far as the moving process and how this has affected us, the virtual aspect of real estate has taken off. Florida is still thriving in real estate. In fact, this is as busy as it's ever been in real estate. We're starting to come up on numbers from back in the day when things just absolutely blew up. So construction is going crazy. We're getting multiple offers on most every really nice home here, and they stay on the market less than a day in many cases. So if you're looking to get into a home, you're gonna wanna think about a few things. Number one, virtual tours. Absolutely, you can do it that way. You can start the process that way. There are some people buying sight unseen. I would recommend trying to get down here to at least see it and walk it for yourself. Pictures are great, video are great, but there's something just about being in a property to say that this is the one. So outside of that, you're going to be using electronic signatures for doing your documents for the most part. But that's just a sign of the times anyway, so it's really not that different. You've heard about rental units when you move into a new area, and Cape Coral's no different. Rentals are very popular because it allows you to get to know the area. If you have family that you can stay with for a while to get to know the area, it might be more of a benefit to you, because right now to rent even a small 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, those are starting at $1,300. And again, that's 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So in a home, if you're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, that very well could end up being somewhere in that $1,500 to $1,600 a month, and that's just in the starting end of things. And that's a 1-year commitment, $300 pet deposit if you have a pet, and that will be first, last, and security in most cases. Also, unfortunately, many of our rentals here have absentee owners, so sometimes that leads to delays in getting repairs and other things fixed or taken care of because the communication is so scattered. And sometimes what's even happening is the demand for good rentals is so high that the quality of the rental you're getting isn't what it once was. The landlords may not maintain the property the way they once would because they know they're going to be able to fill it, whether it's with you or with someone else. I don't know if you've heard, but Florida has some crazy drivers. Yes, aggressive, impatient, don't seem to know what they're doing half the time. Blinkers, forget about them. You might get it, you might not, but driving it's one of my pet peeves. I can't stand when somebody can't drive properly or the proper speed or let me know which way they're going so that I don't end up in an accident. I also ride motorcycles, so that's even more important. But our drivers here are crazy. They come from all over the country and all over the world, so we're experiencing many different driving styles on top of the fact that we have many different age groups here. And it's just many different personalities. Some people like to go fast, some people like to go slow, some people don't know what they're doing. But be patient, understand this before you get going, give yourself a little extra time, and hope that you don't experience the negatives of our wonderful driving culture here in Southwest Florida. Our neighborhoods in this area, you will find that there are a number of them that you can drive down the street and you'll see something different every home you pass. Different type of architecture, because the ages in which many of these neighborhoods were built are scattered. The home styles are going to be different. The color of the homes can be different. The landscaping's different. So many differences with them. You want to be able to drive your neighborhood, see if it feels good to you. I've had some clients drive into a neighborhood and just be like, no, I can't live here. That neighbor, no. Here's the thing to also think about. You can't pick your neighbors. So you might buy into a beautiful neighborhood that you just absolutely love. And if you get a neighbor that's not that good or not that clean or not that tidy with their things, you could end up with that same situation later. So don't get hung up on it. Find something that has a great location for your lifestyle and close to the things that you want. Find the nice home that fits your family and your family's needs. And then we'll just attend to the community stuff of the neighborhood as it goes. We'll do the best we can to get you the best situation, but again, it can change at any time. The only way to assure yourself of not having that situation happen is to go into a planned community with a homeowner association. Those homeowner associations are put together as a way to keep order, and it's almost like having your own code enforcement built in to the neighborhood. So you'll have somebody that will monitor condition of home. If you need to have your home painted, if your landscaping's out of whack, they're gonna tell you. And if you don't do it, they're gonna fine you. And then if you don't do it, they're gonna fine you again. It'll keep going until it's taken care of. So they're a little more rigid, it's a little more strict. One thing with those homeowners associations though is be sure to get the rules and regulations of the community before you move in to make sure that you're going to be able to uphold the standard they have for residents in there. Also with gated communities, technology is technology. Many of them have gone to the electronic gate where you take your license, you put it in the box, somebody in security answers on the other end, they check you out and they let you in. Well, technology can fail. If it fails, you may not be able to get into the community, nor will your guests be able to get into the community. Now, since we're talking about moving, a couple things to consider also. I know at least here in Cape Coral, you have to have a permit if you're going to have a pod sitting in your driveway. It's good for up to 7 days. It's $40 for the permit, but you must have it. If code enforcement comes by and you do not have a permit, you will get a fine. Now, as far as the utilities when you move in, if you're going to be leasing, you're still going to need a lease to get the water turned on. If you're buying, you're going to need the HUD or closing statement to get the water turned on. Many of the other utilities would just be based off of a possible deposit and potentially a long wait time to get it on. So if you know when your moving date is, try to get a request in at least 2 weeks ahead of time for the approximate date, because it gets very busy. It gets even busier when you're getting into season. Season for us can be anywhere from October through April. This year's going to be a little bit different to see exactly how many people are coming, what time frames are going to be here. Storage in Florida, it's at a premium. We don't have basements. Surprise! So our garage is where we store everything, or closets, or attics. I caution you on the attic, because the heat that we have here, imagine what that attic feels like. So if you put anything up there that could melt or be destroyed by heat and you forget about it, you might as well write it off. So best way to avoid that, purge everything before you leave. Whatever you haven't used in 6 months, and God forbid, if it's been a year, you don't need what's in that box. So get rid of them, give them away, Salvation Army, whatever it is, because storage is going to be your biggest issue here. Now, if you store things in Florida, you want to try to get some of the plastic totes with lids that snap on pretty tight, because bugs and critters will get into these boxes. If it's just cardboard, again, you're going to end up with some of that stuff potentially being destroyed, whether it's by the humidity and moisture or through these insects. So just get rid of it while you can, give it away, let somebody else enjoy it, and give yourself the opportunity to use your garage for what it's intended. Your car or motorcycle or whatever other toy you like. We've talked about school choice in a couple other videos, but this one I'm going to make a different point about school choice. Yes, you can still have a list of your preferred schools that you want to be able to go to. Get the list in way ahead of time. There are wait lists on many of the schools to get in. And even worse, if you want a charter school, charter schools are kind of sought after because their standards are a little bit higher technology there is really good. My son goes to a charter school, and one of our blessings was that his sister already went there. So as a sibling, he gets a position automatically. So if you do have multiple children and you get one into the charter school system, then all the others follow suit as priority. So if you're somebody that doesn't have any kids there yet, you want to get them on the list as soon as possible so that they have the best chance of getting into those schools. Also at this time, we are doing a lot of the virtual learning, so that has eased some of the spacing issues in these schools. But remember, they also reduce the class sizes to make it easier for these teachers to handle the groups of kids and keep them distanced from one another. Florida doesn't have a lot of natural gas, so if you like to cook with natural gas, I've got one solution if the community doesn't have it. That's get a propane tank, bury it in the ground, there's your gas. Yes, it'll need refilled. Yes, you will have to make sure that it's approved by the association. And if it's not an association you live in, if it's just a planned community or a subdivision, you want to make sure that the code for that area will allow you to also have a propane tank buried. Many people also talk about being homesick. You come to Florida, you know it's going to feel like a vacation, but vacation ends at some point, and then real life sets in. We've got 2 seasons, not 4. We've got really warm and kind of cool to warm. Just depends on how long you've been here. Once you've been here over a year, 2 years, and work beyond that, you will acclimate. You will need a jacket when it gets into the 60s and 50s and 40s. It's just going to happen. I never thought it would happen to me. It happened. I can wear jeans and a jacket in 60-degree weather, probably even 70-degree weather with a breeze. So it will happen to you too. But the homesick part also comes not for just the seasons, but generally you don't have family here when you move. So now you're forced with getting to know a new area. And if you have kids, who's going to help you with the kids when you have an appointment, when you have to be somewhere, whether it's a work engagement, maybe you guys want to go out on a date night, who's watching the kids? So that is a little tougher. So get to know your neighbors and acclimate the best you can. Get your family come down and visit for a while you're getting acclimated to the area. But that homesickness does happen. It happened to my brother. He was here for a couple years, and he and his wife, they missed back home. Her parents were still there, and they just wanted to give their kids a different life, the life they grew up with. So they went back. Yeah, it's not for everybody. I came down, I'll never go back. The other thing you have to get used to here with that homesick part is the holidays feel completely different for the first couple of years. You will not have any white Christmas. You'll have a brown Christmas or a green Christmas. You'll have a warm Thanksgiving in most cases, as well as Easter. So these are things you just get used to. You do them differently. Yes, the decorations look different. You can still put your lights up everywhere. It still will feel somewhat like the holidays. However, it will take some time to get used to. Another thing Florida has to offer is fire ants, no-see-ums, mosquitoes, snakes, gators, stingrays, jellyfish, conchs that like to turn upside down in the sand. I named that one in particular because I was running down the beach playing football with my son, and I stepped on one of those suckers, split me wide open, and I'm bleeding all over the beach. So yes, there are weird things in our water. There's things that you're not planning for, but this is just part of what we have when you live here. Most of these things aren't going to want to be near you, just like you won't want to be near them. The snakes and gators and things like that, they're going to be here. Most of the time you're not going to see them. If you're near water, just be cautious if you have a small animal, things like that. As far as the no-see-ums and mosquitoes, we do have the lanais screened in many cases. It helps keep those things out. There's also obviously bug sprays and bracelets and all that other fun stuff nowadays, but just keep in mind, we have all these pests. We also have roaches. When you wake up in the morning, if you flick on the lights, you very well could see it run across the floor or turned upside down dead because you sprayed around the house the day before. That's the only way to keep all these critters under control. Same thing with spiders and all that. Spray around the home, have a service come and spray around the home. There are cracks and crevices around all your doorways and things. You do your best with the weather stripping to keep them closed up, but it will happen. They will get in. Just again, spray the home, pay somebody to spray the home. You won't have any issues. If there's something more you'd like to know, go ahead and comment down below. and watch one of these videos if you want to know more about the area. I've got a little bit of information on Fort Myers, a little bit on Cape Coral, and if you just give a comment below, I'll give you a little bit more of what you need. Outside of that, if there's anything that I can do to help you, call, text, email, because I've got your back when moving to the Gulf Coast.